What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Universal Mastery. Welcome back to my public YouTube channel. If you're new, let me give you a little bit of an understanding of exactly what I do here. Okay? What I do here is I break down the occult sciences and I break them down to a very practical degree so that you can simply use them and apply them in your day-to-day life and get real actual results with what it is that I'm teaching here on my channel simply by applying your observation and your awareness. Very practical, okay? Welcome back to all the reoccurring subscribers and viewers. I'm glad to have you in here. And for those of you who are new, once again, let me give you a little bit of a perspective of who I am just so that you know who you're getting this information from, okay? My name is Jeremiah Schwartz. I am a professional occultist. I am fully initiated in the entirety of the Kabbalistic tree. I'm studied when it comes to the 22 major arcana of the tarot deck, and I'm also studied when it comes to planetary energies in direct association with astrology. Okay, so without further ado, what exactly are we going to be talking about within today's video? We are going to be truly and officially unveiling Yahweh. Okay, so we are going to be discussing Yahweh. What role does Yahweh play on our planet Earth today? Is Yahweh a positively oriented being, or is Yahweh a negatively oriented being? There's a lot of people who have that question because obviously there's a large group of people that worship Yahweh as if Yahweh is the one and only source or God. And then there's another large group of people that think Yahweh is a murderer, a pillager, someone who is just completely ruthless and destructive. Okay, so we are going to be breaking down the true roots of Yahweh, and this is actually going to blow some people's minds. Okay, this is very deep information. This is information a lot of people do not have. And once again, that is the purpose of today's video. I'm going to really be unveiling these secrets. Okay? So if this is something that you're interested in, then obviously all you have to do is stay tuned. Okay? See you on the other side. Okay, so let's go into it. So first thing that I want to start with. So recently, the past couple videos that I've been making, I've been sharing a lot of information that I've been obtaining by reading the book called The Law of One, Contact with Ra. Okay, so the majority of the information that is coming, the majority of the information that is going to be within this video is information that I've been able to understand and receive by reading the book The Law of One. So if anyone wants to get to the source of where this information is coming from, then I would highly recommend you purchase the book, The Law of One, Contact with Ra, and you can read it for yourself. But this is a book that is very intricate, it's very in-depth, and there are a lot of people that if you were to purchase this book and read it, you would have no idea what to think of it, and you would have no idea on how to honestly process the energy. It is that profound. It is, when I first read the book, I'm on my second time reading it. When I first read it, it was basically an overload to my consciousness. I had to stop and just give myself time to just, typically I go on walks and I'll listen to the audiobook and I'll be trying to download the information, and there would be so much information in such a short period of time, I would have to take my headphones off and just walk and just process it and try to understand what I was reading. Okay, so it's not a book for everybody. That's why I'm here with my YouTube channel as a professional occultist, someone who has experience in the occult field, fully initiated in the Kabbalah. I'm able to interpret a lot of these keys, these secrets, and these perspectives that are shared in a book like this, The Law of One. Okay, so without further ado, I should say, let's move into it. So Yahweh is mentioned within the book. Now, Yahweh originally was mentioned as being a negatively polarized being, okay? So Yahweh is going to be a social memory complex. Once again, for those of you that don't know what a social memory complex is, definitely look into the YouTube video that I have that discusses the social memory complex. Long story short, to keep it very simple, a social memory complex is an entire species of entities that come together, share one single mind, which means they share their thoughts and they share the same thoughts and memories together. Okay, so you could imagine an entire species on an entire planet sharing one mind, all thoughts and memories. That would be a social memory complex. Now, a social memory complex can present itself to a planet like ours as an entity, therefore being Yahweh in this example. So we perceive Yahweh oftentimes as a single entity, when in reality, it's a shared mind of an entire planetary species. Okay? So that is a social memory complex. Yahweh is a social memory complex. And as I mentioned, from the beginning of the book, The Law of One, when they first mentioned Yahweh, they mentioned Yahweh as being a negatively polarized entity that was essentially influenced highly by the Orion star system. So the Orion star system is a group of negatively polarized aliens, so to speak, negatively polarized entities that once again exist within the star system of Orion. Okay? Then it goes on to say that Yahweh was originally a positively oriented being, but Yahweh essentially being a sub-logos, so basically a sub-logos is a creator, a sub-creator. This concept can get a little bit nuanced because there can be a sub-logos, sub-sub-logos, sub-sub-sub-sub-sub-logos, and you get the points. But Yahweh is in the sub-logos category. And they say that Yahweh, once again, was originally positively oriented and still, in regards to being a social memory complex, is positively oriented. But what it did on our planet, specifically on Earth, it made some very big, you could say, mistakes. Even though, Yahweh is a social memory complex that has a level of intelligence that's far beyond the human species, these beings still can make mistakes. They do not have the ability to fully predict events in regards to the future with 100% accuracy. So even though we can look at a highly intelligent civilization and look at all their technology and all their abilities to use the mind, they still do not have that ability to predict the future, as I said, predict the future with 100% probability. This is part of the laws of the universe and the mystery that goes behind it. Okay, there are experiments that are run on a universal degree, okay, on all levels of consciousness. Now, Yahweh made a mistake. So this is where it gets crazy. So this is going to blow a lot of people's mind, but it mentions within the book, and I can resonate with this very much. Okay, so it mentions that Yahweh is actually a creator of the human species. Okay, so check this out. This is where it gets crazy. So if you're someone who's ever studied the Anunnaki conspiracies, the Anunnaki theory, if you know, what's his name? Forbidden Knowledge on YouTube. I forgot his name. It's on the top of my head. But Forbidden Knowledge, if you search it up on YouTube, this guy is very big on the whole Anunnaki concept. So if you've ever looked into the Anunnaki concept, this actually falls right in alignment with what is mentioned in the book, The Law of One, about what Yahweh did to the human species. So the book mentions that Yahweh is one of the creators of the human species. Okay, so hear me out. So originally, there was a species, there was beings that existed on the planet Mars. This is roughly 100,000 years ago. There was beings that existed on the planet Mars. It's actually even longer than 100,000 years ago. But these beings that existed on the planet Mars, and as we all know, in regards to our modern day science, there is an ability to have life on Mars. This is what Elon Musk has been focusing on. So there is a lot of probability that this information is very accurate. But long story short, there was beings on Mars around the 100,000 year mark ago. And these beings, because of the nature of Mars, those of you that understand astrology, you know Mars is aggressive, argumentative, warfare-like, power-driven, things in that nature. The beings that existed on that planet had a challenging time evolving up the densities because of the planetary energies of Mars itself, which were consistent of the ones that I just mentioned: aggression, arguments, warfare. there was a lot of chaos on the planet, so to speak, a lot of destruction. So the beings, and this is, yeah, so I'll keep it simple. So the beings on Mars eventually had to leave the planet because of the level of destruction that was done to it. And the transition that took place was from the planet of Mars down to our planet Earth. And this transition happened, once again, about 100,000 years ago. And one of the social memory complexes that helped to initiate this transition from the beings that existed on Mars was the social memory complex of Yahweh, which genetically modified the beings on Mars to be able to manifest on our planet Earth and be able to continue their evolutionary progression on this planet. So long story short, what that's saying is that the human species, a large portion of the human species, to be exact, 1/3 of the entire human species originates from Mars and was genetically modified by the social memory complex of a planetary civilization known as Yahweh. This is mind-blowing, okay? So what that means is that 1/3 of the entire population is literally on an energetic level created to a degree by Yahweh, okay? And 1/3 of the entire population literally originates from the planet of Mars. And this actually can make a lot of sense as to why Yahweh is mentioned in our today's time top religion of Judaism as being the one and only God, and also why a lot of people resonate with that. There's a large portion of the people on the planet that actually believe that Yahweh is God. And I can imagine that the majority of those individuals that actually believe that may have been the beings that existed on Mars previously around the 100,000 year mark ago, and then were genetically modified by Yahweh down to this planet. Therefore, having that energetic resonance to Yahweh in the first place. Okay? Interesting, right? Then the other question comes up, okay, so you say 1/3 of the population was created by Mars, or excuse me, created by Yahweh, so to speak, and 1/3 of the population originated from Mars. What about the other halves of the population? So the other halves of the population, this goes back to one of the other previous videos that I made on my YouTube channel. If you scroll down my videos, you'll find it, the Inner Earth Conspiracy Theory. Look at that video. This will discuss the other portion. But the other portion of the human species comes from the beings that left the planetary system, the planetary star of Maldek, okay? And this happened around 500,000 years ago. And these beings from Maldek, they had similar issues on their planet. There was too much destruction. They had to leave it. And they made a contract to come down to this planet to work off their karma. But that contract required them to manifest within the inner earth, not on the surface level where we exist as the human species. So they exist within the inner earth, and they have to basically work off their karma and further evolve in their own rights. And the beings that are successfully evolving, that are within the inner earth, which are known essentially as the Bigfoot, the Sasquatch, that's what they look like. That's what we would call them. When they progress in their evolution, as they're working off their karma, eventually they have the ability to graduate into a physical body, into a human species. So what that means is that the beings from Maldek that are within the inner earth, as they're evolving, they have opportunities to incarnate into the human species. So that would make up another portion of the mass collective, of the species on this planet Earth. And then the third portion, this would be the last portion of the human species, these are going to be beings that are wanderers. Okay, so what that means is that these are beings that exist from different star systems, different stars, different planets that exist in different densities from all over the universe. Okay, and then they come backwards, or they come into this incarnation here on this planet Earth. Okay, so one portion of the human species is coming from Mars and was genetically modified by Yahweh. The other portion is coming from the beings that left the planetary system of Maldek and incarnated to our inner earth. And as they gradually evolve, they incarnate into physical bodies. And then the third portion is coming from beings that are just scattered all around the universe that are within different, star systems, existing on different planets, and things in that nature, and are choosing to incarnate on this planet because there is more evolutionary potential for what their needs are. Okay, and this is literally going to consist of the entirety of the human species at a whole. Okay, in regards to the soul and the spirit of the human species, or of the beings that are the human beings, so to speak. Okay, very fascinating. So now focusing back on Yahweh, it was mentioned that Yahweh was originally and is technically a positively oriented social memory complex. So then the question might come up as to, well, then why is Yahweh being demonized by a lot of individuals in our today's time? Why is it when you look at the Old Testament, you see Yahweh like destroying villages, raping women, killing families and things in that nature, all under the name of Christianity and things in that nature, or under the name of religious evolution? Well, see, this is the mistake that took place by Yahweh that shifted the perception of Yahweh from being a positively oriented entity to then being a negatively oriented entity. Okay, so the mistake that Yahweh made, and this happened this was somewhere around the 3,000, I believe it was 3,300 year mark. This is what it mentions in the book, The Law of One. Around the year 3,300 year, Yahweh did another form of, you could say, genetic manipulation. And this form of genetic manipulation, it was a form this genetic manipulation came through the transference of sexual energy. So essentially what that means is that there was a being that was different in its genetic nature and different in its genetic codes that incarnated onto this planet, that was from the social memory complex of Yahweh, that then mated with women on this planet to then produce these offspring. And this also falls along the lines of what we know about when we hear about the concept of the Watchers. Okay, and this is where it gets crazy. And this is all mentioned within the book. Okay, and these beings that Yahweh sent down, essentially, that were essentially Yahweh, the part of the social memory complex, that then mated with the women on the planet, their intention was to create a spirit, mind, body complex, which is just, you could think of it as a human being that was able to defend itself and able to armor itself against the negative polarity, to essentially fight off the energies of the negative polarity, or fight off darkness. Okay, so the intention of Yahweh coming down and mating with women, trying to produce a specific type of offspring that could fight against darkness, was a positive intention. It was a good intention under the scope of what Yahweh thought. But this is the thing. So what it did is it made an individual, through the mating process, through transference of sexual energy and changing of the genetic code, it made giants. It made individuals that were taller than the average humans at the time. It made individuals that were stronger than the average humans at the time. And once again, this is where we get the concept of the Watchers literally being giants. And there is even proof in regards to archaeological studies that shows some of the bone structures of some of these humans and their skulls, and how much bigger they were than the average human beings. And this is what it once again mentions within the book. And once again, remember that the intention originally with Yahweh was a positive intention to fight off the negative polarity. But what ended up happening is, because there was now a separation between the bodies of some individuals who were built in that stronger nature, that more powerful nature, than the other individuals, these individuals were now a lot more susceptible to negative influence. And specifically, the negative influence was the separation between the regular human and the elite. Okay, so once again, originally the intention was to have a stronger body and a mind to fight off darkness, but then the negative polarity and the negative entities were much more able to influence those beings that had a different spirit, mind, body complex to think of themselves in a more elitist fashion, to think of themselves and serve themselves as if they are better than everyone else. And this is literally what caused the negative polarity. This is around 3,300 years ago to start thriving. Okay, and this is, if you track the dates back, this is around the Babylonian times. Okay, and yeah, so that is what it's mentioned as within the book. And once again, this mistake that Yahweh made with the positive intention literally ended up turning out to be one of the biggest mistakes ever made in regards to allowing the negatively polarized entities to start thriving. Okay? And this is literally where that huge concept started to come into play against the royals, the elites, and then everyone else being regular, just, other humans that are not as strong and as powerful. And it was all essentially started by Yahweh's mistake. Now, obviously, a mistake is a mistake. Everyone makes mistakes. But when you make mistakes on that big of a cosmic level, and it's more so microcosm, people on an unconscious and subconscious level are going to hold that deep memory of this social memory complex known as Yahweh, and they're going to feel a certain level of hatred towards that social memory complex. This is why a lot of people hate Yahweh. This is why a lot of people think Yahweh is evil and has nothing to do with God and is completely just a negative being. But once again, the truth is Yahweh is still a positively oriented social memory complex, but it did make a mistake that caused the negative polarity to really root itself on this planet. Okay? And this is pretty mind-blowing. Okay? So once again, then you look at the influence of the Bible, tying it back to the Old Testament and the New Testament, but definitely the Old Testament, and you can see all the negative influences that are placed within the Bible, and also how they use the name of Yahweh as being the one that's standing by all the principles that are in the book itself, when in reality, the social memory complex of Yahweh would not stand by and would not want people to believe that you need to kill in order to, positively polarize, or kill to spread the law of one, to kill to spread the awareness of the source and the one creator. That is not a positively oriented concept by any means, in any way that you try to configure it. That is a completely negative polarized thing. And also, when you tell someone what not to do, if you tell someone thou shalt not do this, that is a negatively polarized thing in its nature, because you're controlling someone's free will and you're controlling their awareness. So for example, when you look at the Old Testament, you're going to see there are a lot of commands, there are a lot of things that are said in a way that you should not do this. If you do, you are a sinner, and sinners are not accepted in heaven. Therefore, the entire context of the message is, do not do this. This is wrong. And that has nothing to do with the positive polarity. And ultimately, that has everything to do with the negative polarity, because now you're controlling people in regards to what they're doing. You're controlling free will. Okay? And that's a negative polarized thing. But when you mesh in a positively oriented social memory complex with an entire negatively oriented doctrine, now you have a confused being, or you have a confused mass collective that is observing the teachings. So this is why you see so many Christians, so many people that worship Yahweh, and these people truly have good intentions. They want everyone to get to heaven, so to speak, but they're doing it in a ruthless manner. They're trying to force their beliefs on you. They're trying to tell you what you should and what you shouldn't do, as if they understand the true nature of every human being. They tell you what's good for you, what's not good for you, as if they have the power to do so, and they have no understanding of allowing another human being to freely make their free will choice. And once again, even with the things that are mentioned in the Bible that are sins, a lot of these things are not wrong at all, even if you're positively polarized. You can still indulge in a lot of those things in a positive way, okay? If you're, a more so positive type of person. But yeah, so long story short, this is what has happened in our today's time. And this information is very misunderstood. There are a lot of people who do not understand any of this that I just shared in this today's video. Okay, so definitely do not take this information for granted. Okay, go ahead and write down some of this information that I mentioned and try to do your own research and compare it to other people's studies and other people's research that are in these different areas and in these different fields. Okay, so once again, as I mentioned, if you go back to the concept of Yahweh genetically manipulating the human beings and through sexual energy transfer, changing the body into a stronger, bigger, more powerful body, I mean, you can do your own research and you can see that there were bones found of bigger beings that look to be of human species. Okay, so just trace the roots back, do your own research. But yeah, once again, this is very, very misunderstood information. A lot of people don't have it. And now that you do have it, you can allow it to serve you immensely. Okay, whatever you do with that information. Okay, but once again, ultimately, Yahweh is a positively oriented social memory complex that has been manipulated very intentionally and very deeply into a completely negatively polarized being that most human beings perceive in our today's time. Okay, so once again, if you look at the Old Testament, you're going to look at a lot of things that are based on the laws of the source that are manipulated in such a way that it's for negative purposes. Okay, do not do this. You should not sin. Okay, this and this, this and this, this and this. You should this, that, this, that. And it's all couched under this is the right thing to do. Okay, this is what will get you in touch with God. This is what will get you to heaven and to the source. Okay, so now you know. Okay, and if you're someone who's on the negative polarized path, this information is extremely valuable. Okay, because now you can understand how the negative polarity really functions. Okay, the negative polarity places influences that confuse people. And only the people that don't look into those influences, only the people that just accept them because they're being told what it is, are going to be the people that are affected in an unbeneficial way from them. But obviously, there's a lot of individuals that are listening to information that's inverted, and they're feeling like something is wrong about the information. Therefore, they're not taking it for face value, and then it causes them to dig deeper. See, this is the power of the negative polarity. And this is why real negative polarized individuals like myself are so powerful, because we're always aware of inverted messages. We're always trying to become aware of inverted intentions. We're always looking a little bit deeper and not just fully always accepting things for being face value. Okay, we understand that the negative polarity is the most powerful catalyst that exists, and we're always trying to dig to that deeper level to fully embrace our unconscious and our subconscious minds. Okay, and therefore we gain power from it. Okay, and as long as we understand the true principles and we understand the secrets and the keys, then we can use them to our benefit. Okay, and that's the entire point. Okay, whether other people want to deny this truth, whether other people want to agree with it or not, is completely up to them. And ultimately, if they disagree, that is going to affect them in that way. Okay, because when you come across a certain level of truth, where there's a lot of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to be gained, and then you deny that, the only unbeneficial effect there is to be had is to the individual that denies it. Okay, and therefore, once again, if you're on the negative polarized path, that ultimately will serve you as well. Whether people get it, if people evolve, you gain power. If people don't get it and they remain stagnant, you evolve and you gain power. Once again, it's a win-win situation. Okay, so other than that, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to wrap up the video. If you enjoyed it, come down here and hit the thumbs up button. Also, make sure you come down here and you hit the notification bell because I post videos as often as I can. And with content like this, you obviously do not want to be missing out. Trust me. Okay? So get notified when I post. Also, come down here and hit the subscribe button because if you are really wanting to gain the most value from this content, then by hitting the subscribe button, you're further linking in to the YouTube channel, which literally means you're getting more energetic value from the things that I'm emanating from this video. Okay, so if you want to take advantage of that, definitely subscribe to the channel. If not, forget about it. Okay, the next thing I want to say is you have my full permission to copy and paste this link and send it out to anybody you feel like it would offer value to. Family, friends, social media platforms, you name it, you have my full permission to copy and paste this link. My intention is to spread this content like a wildfire and simultaneously increase and build up my empire in the process. And that's exactly what has been taking place. Okay? The next thing that I want to say is come down here and add me on Instagram. Super easy to type in, JER_477. Check me out on social media platforms. Okay? Then I want to say if you would like to take advantage of joining within a private Facebook community, you can do so. Click the little arrow drop down into the description, scroll down. Eventually, you're going to come across a post that is a link actually that says, no, excuse me, it is a post. It says private Facebook community. Underneath that post, there's a link. You click that link, then follow where the link takes you. You can eventually request to join within the private Facebook community that has over 470 members within a private group. And these members are posting on an active and a daily basis. And there is extremely valuable information that is being revealed within this private Facebook group. So if you want to get access to it, you now know what to do. Okay? We're going to leave that there. Ladies and gentlemen, now I'm going to take your awareness to the most important link within the entirety of the YouTube description. This is the first link in the YouTube description right there. You cannot miss it. This is where you can join my Patreon. Okay? On my Patreon, I have an entire exclusive vault of content where none of this content is on my public channel, and that is for many reasons. It's not meant for the public. Okay? It's meant for people who are investing their time and energy to an even deeper degree in regards to their psychic self-development, okay? I have content that's in the form of live streams, blog posts, and videos that are very similar to this one, except all of these different avenues of content are more advanced and more personal, okay? Then as you move into tier 3 and up, you're gaining access to an entire magic training course, which I feel like would be extremely valuable, especially if you're a beginner occultist and you're looking for a structured format to follow to start developing your psychic capabilities. Okay, that would be for tier 3 and up for the magic training course. Then as you move into tier 4, this is the top tier and most popular tier. This is what's called the Universe.B Vampire Service. Okay, and what this means is that on the 29th of every single month that has a 29th, I perform an advanced occult ritual on the participants of that tier to become more so Universe.B dominant. So this means I completely change the energetic structure of those individuals to, once again, be more so Universe.B dominant. So what this means is that these individuals have an ability to exist within the darker areas of the multiverse without being harmed by them, but rather developing knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and potential from them instead. Okay? This also gives the individuals an ability to be more so receptive to their unconscious and their subconscious minds, which is feminine in nature. And it also gives them the ability to pull in on a psychic level, dark energy and chaos in their environment to then transmute into their own power and evolutionary potential. Hence, this is why it's called the Universe.B Vampire Service. Okay? So if this is something that you would like to take advantage of, definitely look into it. It is the top tier, first link in the YouTube description. We'll leave that there. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to give a special shout out to everyone, specifically who is a member of the Patreon. Huge shout out to all of you, ladies and gentlemen, for taking your knowledge, your practices, and your wisdom, your understandings to that other side. Huge shout outs. Okay. Now the second link in the YouTube description is where I'm taking your awareness to. Click the arrow drop down. You can't miss it. This is where you can book your own personalized tarot card reading from me. Okay. In this tarot card reading, I can literally pinpoint exactly where you are on the Kabbalistic tree. I can tell you what you're feeling, experiencing, and going through in the present moment, and then what to expect as you move into your near and your long-term future based on your positions and your traveling on that Kabbalistic tree. I don't know anybody else that knows how to do this, okay? I've done well over 550 readings at this point. I get tons of valuable feedback. If you want to take advantage of it yourself, then definitely do so. Book at the second link below. We'll leave that there, okay? Then as you move into the third link, this is where you can become a YouTube member, okay? As you become a YouTube member, you're gaining access to many benefits. You get a badge next to your name. You enter into the amazing YouTube community. You get special shout outs when I do live streams. You have an ability to leave a question that appears in the same format as a super chat whenever I do live streams. But most importantly, you have the ability to use the Psychic Warfare emoji program. Okay, so this is a sequence of emojis that you get access to right when you become a YouTube member that I've created myself that are based on real occult principles that can be used in a certain configuration. Then you link in the name of a target, you hit enter, and it actually finds your target and causes psychic damage to them. The most simple form of utilizing psychic warfare on the internet. Okay? There are well over 1,000 posts where individuals have used this form of psychic warfare. There are even individuals in this moment that are taking advantage of it. Okay? If this is something that you would like to get your hands on, then definitely do so. You can do so at the third link in the YouTube description. Join to become a YouTube member. Okay? We're going to leave that there. Then we're going to go into the fourth link below. Okay, the fourth link is where you can purchase your EMF incense sticks, electromagnetic frequency incense sticks, that are created by me. These are not your traditional incense sticks. They are very different. Okay, these are pre-packaged, energetically charged incense sticks. I put in an occult formula that soaks into the scent of the sticks, which is based on the 11th sphere of the Kabbalistic tree, which gives further access to the hidden gates, which creates 100% manifestation. There's real essential oil that goes into the sticks as well that helps give access to the unconscious and subconscious mind. I put in 11 drops that soaks into the sticks of real monatomic gold, which gives them their EMF properties. And then at the liquid base that they soak for over 24 hours, there are real quartz crystals and real citrine crystals that are charging them, okay? These are very different sticks. They are produced very differently than any traditional stick that you can buy on the market, okay? I can promise that, okay? If this is something you would like to take advantage of, definitely do so. Get a 50-pack bundle. Fourth link below. The sooner you place your order, the sooner I can ship it out to you, okay? Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to wrap it up. I appreciate you very much. I hope you have an amazing rest of the day or night, wherever you are. And I will see you in the very near future. Peace.